I had to be a hero.
William tried to clear the fog from his mind.
Damned fool rookie mistake.
He tried to open his eyes, but the left one, swollen shut, refused to open.
I can't believe I let him knock me out.
Shaking his head, trying to get his one eye to focus, he tried to reach up to rub it. He couldn't move his hands. They were tied behind him with a rough rope.
When I heard the girl scream, I should have called for backup. 22 years on the force, and I ran blindly into this. Damn!
William sat on the floor, tied to a sewage pipe. He had broken the cheap padlock off the wooden basement door when he heard the scream. The old-style doors were heavy, made more so by the way they sat angled on the ground. While he was getting older, he still had the strength to pull the door upward and open. Not giving a thought to the noise he made entering the basement, he charged down the stairs. William only got a glimpse of the man holding the shovel that smacked against his face. Hearing the muffled yell snapped his mind into focus. William raised his head and looked in the direction of the sound. There was a broad man standing with his back to William. He was standing in front of a long, flat table. It was dark in the room, with light coming from a few small windows and a bare light bulb above the table. Recent moving about had rustled dust from the floor into a cloud. The room reeked of a musty, molded smell. On the table laid a young woman. She had a cloth gag in her mouth. Her stringy blonde hair was a tangled mass that fell to the table lifelessly. Her eyes squeezed shut. William gasped, watching the man tail the tip of a large knife down her thigh. He was cutting her enough to make her bleed, to make her feel immense pain. It was clear to William that the man was being cautious not to cause too much damage. He wasn't trying to kill her. He was trying to make her suffer. William struggled against the rope that held his hands behind him. He was sure it was something like a bailing rope, very coarse, rough. The rope tore at his wrist. Small streams of blood ran from his wrist past his fingers to the floor. The man trailed the knife down the young woman's forearm. William strained the muscles of his arms and shoulders, tugging at the rope. He thought of calling out, telling the guy to stop. Then he realized that would likely result in his getting a gag of his own. Being a retired cop, William desperately wanted to free his hands and rescue the young woman. The .38 Special holstered at his left ankle would enable him to do so if he could just get his hands free. The man at the table laid his knife down, then raised his arm high above him. He released a powerful blow that crashed into the woman's torso.
You dirty trash.
The man spoke in a deep snarl. Tears rolled from the young woman's eyes. William couldn't stand watching this. He twisted his arms with all his strength, ignoring the pain and blood at his wrist. The rope loosened. He drew the .38 from its holster and stood up.
Stop now. Get away from her. Put your hands on your head and take 5 steps back.
William barked the commands as his years of experience had taught him. The man lowered his hands to the table, the right one close to the knife. William glanced at the young woman on the table. Her eyes were wide with fear.
You're gonna be okay.
He spoke softly to the woman. The man grabbed the knife and turned to face William. His face contorted with a strange look of surprise. He took a step toward William.
Stop where you are. Do not take another step.
This would not be the first time William had to fire on a suspect, but he had hoped he wouldn't ever have to again. Sighting the gun, aiming at the man's chest, William demanded,
Drop the knife and put your hands on your head now.
You don't understand.
The man's voice filled the musty basement. William noted the confusion in the man's tone and on his face. The man began walking toward William, knife still in hand.
I won't tell you again. Drop!
Pow! Pow! 2 .38 slugs tore into the man's chest, and he fell to the floor. William walked up and kicked the knife away from the man. It didn't take more than a glance to see the man was dead. Stepping past him, William laid his revolver on the table and untied the young woman. He helped her stand, but in a few seconds her body fell against his.
She's still conscious.
He cradled her in his arms.
It's going to be okay. I'm gonna get you some help.
She shoved him hard enough that he went back a few steps.
You stupid old man! Do you have any idea how hard it is to find just the right guy? Men are pigs, but not all of them will do what I want.
Her eyes were wide with rage. William's heart raced in his chest until he saw her level his .38 revolver at him. His heart stopped beating as he sighed.
I had to be a hero.